My name is Sarah. I was dead for 12 minutes, and what Jesus showed me in those 12 minutes will send chills down your spine. He revealed the one sin that's dragging millions of Christians straight to hell, and you probably committed it before watching this video. Stay till the end, or you'll regret it forever. It was a Sunday evening in March 2021. I was at our regular church service. Nothing unusual about that night. I'd been a Christian for 15 years, attended church faithfully, read my Bible, prayed daily. I thought I was living right before God. I was sitting in the third row, listening to Pastor Michael preach about forgiveness, when suddenly I felt this crushing pain in my chest. The last thing I remember was falling forward, hearing someone scream, and then darkness. What happened next changed everything I thought I knew about God, sin, and what it really means to follow Jesus. I found myself standing in what I can only describe as a place between places. It wasn't dark, but it wasn't fully light either. There was this overwhelming sense of being evaluated. That's when I saw him, Jesus, not the gentle, meek figure from Sunday school pictures, but the Jesus of Revelation, eyes like flames, voice like rushing water, presence so powerful I could barely stand. He looked at me with such love, but also such sorrow. "Sarah," he said, and my name on his lips was like thunder and whisper combined. "There is something I must show you, something that is destroying my people, and they don't even realize it." I said, "Lord, what is it? I've tried to live righteously. I've avoided the big sins. I don't murder, steal, commit adultery." He held up his hand. The enemy's greatest victory is not in the sins people recognize. It's in the sin they've convinced themselves is harmless. Suddenly, we were in what looked like a vast movie theater, but instead of a screen, there were windows, thousands of them, showing the lives of people. "Watch," Jesus said. "Watch and see the sin that is sending more of my people to destruction than almost any other, yet they call it innocent entertainment." I looked through the windows and saw people in their homes, on their phones, on their computers. They were watching, scrolling, consuming. At first, I didn't understand. These people weren't doing anything obviously wrong. They weren't stealing or hurting anyone. They were just watching. "Lord," I said, "what am I supposed to see? These people are just watching TV, movies, social media." His face grew grave. "Look deeper, Sarah. Look with spiritual eyes." That's when I saw it. Around each person watching, there were dark shadows, demons, feeding off what they were consuming. But these weren't people watching obviously evil content. These were Christians, good people, watching what the world calls normal entertainment. The sin, Jesus said, is not just what they watch, but what they allow to enter their minds and hearts without discernment. Every image, every story, every song that glorifies sin, even subtly, plants seeds in the soul. He showed me a woman watching a romantic movie where the main characters lived together unmarried. The demons whispered, "This is normal. This is love. God's way is old-fashioned." I watched as her heart slowly hardened to God's design for relationships. He showed me a man watching a comedy series filled with crude humor and taking God's name in vain. With each laugh, I saw his reverence for the sacred diminish. The demons celebrated every chuckle at what mocked holiness. "But Lord," I protested, "surely you don't mean all entertainment is wrong." "I mean," he replied, "that my people have forgotten they are called to be holy. They consume the same spiritual poison as the world and wonder why their faith grows cold, why prayer becomes difficult, why my voice becomes distant." Jesus then showed me something that broke my heart. I saw the progression, how this innocent entertainment gradually desensitized people to sin. First, they'd watch things that made them slightly uncomfortable, but over time, what once bothered their conscience became normal, then acceptable. then desirable. The enemy doesn't need to drag my people into obvious sin, Jesus explained. He just needs to slowly shift their standard of what is acceptable. Entertainment is his greatest tool because people willingly give him access to their minds. I saw marriages destroyed by unrealistic expectations planted by romantic movies. I saw young people's purity corrupted by normalized promiscuity in shows. I saw believers who became numb to violence, accepting of dishonesty, comfortable with greed, all because they'd consumed so much content that portrayed these things as normal or even admirable. The heart is like a garden, Jesus said. Whatever seeds you allow to be planted will eventually bear fruit. My people are planting seeds of the world's values and wondering why they struggle to bear spiritual fruit. Then Jesus showed me something terrifying. I saw people standing before the throne of judgment, confused and pleading, "Lord, we believed in you. We went to church. We weren't murderers or thieves." But their hearts had been so shaped by worldly entertainment that they had gradually adopted the world's values. They had become lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, and they didn't even realize it.
"Many will say to me in that day," Jesus quoted his own words, "Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? But I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness." I understood then that practicing lawlessness isn't just about breaking obvious commands. It's about living by the world's standards instead of God's. And entertainment had been the primary way these people had slowly adopted worldly thinking. "What should your people do?" I asked. "They must choose," Jesus said firmly. "They cannot serve both me and the entertainment industry that profits from glorifying sin." I'm not calling them to live in a cave, but to be discerning, to ask before they watch, listen, or consume. Does this draw me closer to God or further away? Does this make sin look attractive? Does this align with my values or the world's? He showed me believers who had made the hard choice to turn off shows that promoted ungodly values, even if they were entertaining. I saw their spiritual lives flourish. Their prayers became more powerful. Their relationships improved. Their joy increased. The narrow way, Jesus reminded me, has always required sacrifice. But what seems like loss is actually gain.
Suddenly, I was back in my body. I could hear the paramedics working on me, feel the oxygen mask on my face. I had been dead for exactly 8 minutes, but I was forever changed. Friends, I'm sharing this because I love you. That innocent entertainment you're consuming, ask yourself honestly, is it making you more like Jesus or more like the world? Is it increasing your hunger for God or feeding your appetite for things that oppose his kingdom? The enemy's greatest lie is that something can be spiritually neutral. Everything either draws us toward God or away from him. Choose carefully what you allow into your mind, because your eternity may depend on it. If this message convicted you, don't wait. Ask God to show you what needs to go from your entertainment diet. It might be hard, but I promise you, it's worth it. God bless you all. Please share this if it touched your heart.